Imagine waking up one morning and finding out that the entire world around you has completely changed. The way people work, the way they travel, the way they eat, even the way they spend their free time, it all looks different. That's not a sci-fi movie plot. That's exactly what happened during the Industrial Revolution, one of the most dramatic turning points in human history. Today, we're going to dive into how this incredible evolution transformed everyday life forever, in ways you might not have realized, and why it still shapes the world you and I live in right now. Picture this: before the Industrial Revolution, most people lived in small villages, working on farms with their families. Life was simple, but it was also tough. People grew their own food, made their own clothes, and rarely traveled far from home. There were no cars, no airplanes, no internet obviously, and most folks never even saw a big city. But then, like a spark lighting a fire, new inventions began to change everything. Steam engines roared to life, machines powered factories, and suddenly, humans could make more goods faster than ever before. Imagine going from sewing one shirt by hand in hours to producing hundreds of shirts in a single day with machines. That's the kind of leap forward we're talking about. One of the most shocking changes was how people moved. Before, the fastest way to travel was by horse or on foot. Then came steam trains. Suddenly, you could travel hundreds of miles in a day, which blew people's minds at the time. Families could visit places they'd never dreamed of, and businesses could sell products far beyond their hometowns. Think about it. Trains back then were like the internet today, connecting people and places in ways that had never been possible before. Doesn't that make you wonder how we'd survive without these massive leaps in technology? But it wasn't just travel. Cities exploded in size as people rushed from the countryside to work in factories. Imagine going from living on a quiet farm to suddenly being in a noisy, crowded city filled with smoke, machines, and thousands of people. For many, it was exciting: new jobs, new opportunities, a chance to earn money. For others, it was overwhelming. The air was dirty, the hours were long, and kids, as young as 10, were often sent to work in dangerous conditions. That's one of the darker sides of the Industrial Revolution that schools don't always talk about. It brought progress, but it also brought serious challenges for ordinary families. Here's something you might find surprising. The Industrial Revolution completely changed how people ate. Before, food was mostly local and seasonal. If it wasn't growing near you, you didn't eat it. But with new transportation like trains and steamships, exotic foods, fruits, and spices could travel across countries and oceans. Suddenly, an ordinary family in England could drink tea from India or eat sugar from the Caribbean. Doesn't it blow your mind to think that your morning cup of coffee is only possible because of systems like this that started hundreds of years ago? Another fascinating part is how the Industrial Revolution shaped education. Before factories, most kids didn't go to school, they worked on farms or helped at home. But as industries grew, people realized they needed workers who could read, write, and understand numbers. This demand helped push governments to create schools for children. So, in a way, if you've ever complained about going to school, you can partly blame the Industrial Revolution. But you can also thank it, because without that shift, most of us wouldn't have access to education at all. Entertainment also went through a transformation. Before, people made their own fun singing, storytelling, or playing simple games. But during and after the Industrial Revolution, theaters, music halls, and later cinemas began to appear in cities. People suddenly had choices for how to spend their free time. Think about it. Without the Industrial Revolution paving the way for mass production and urban culture, we might not have movies, video games, or even YouTube today. That's pretty wild, right? Now, I want you to think about the devices around you right now: your phone, your laptop, maybe even the chair you're sitting on. None of it would exist without the chain reaction started by the Industrial Revolution. It gave us electricity, modern medicine, clean water systems, faster communication, and the ability to mass-produce almost everything. It wasn't just about machines. It was about reshaping how humans lived, worked, and dreamed about the future. Of course, it wasn't all positive. Pollution became a huge problem as coal-powered factories filled the air with smoke. Workers faced dangerous conditions, and inequality grew between the rich factory owners and the poor workers. But even these struggles led to big changes: labor rights, workers' unions, and safety laws that protect us today all came out of the challenges of that time. Sometimes progress is messy, but it still moves us forward. So, why should you care about something that happened over 200 years ago? Because the Industrial Revolution is still happening. Every time you see a new technology, AI, self-driving cars, renewable energy, you're watching a modern version of that same revolution. Just like steam engines and factories changed life back then, today's inventions are rewriting the rules for our future. The story of the Industrial Revolution isn't just about history, it's about you, me, and the world we're building right now. It reminds us that change can be scary. It can be messy, but it can also unlock opportunities we never thought possible. So the next time you hop in a car, send a text, or even binge watch your favorite series, remember that all of it traces back to the moment humans decided to harness machines and transform the way we live. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the past that explains so much about our present. If you enjoyed learning about how the Industrial Revolution changed everyday life forever, make sure to hit that like button. Drop a comment sharing the fact that surprised you most, and don't forget to subscribe for more fun, easy to understand history videos. Until next time, keep asking questions, stay curious, and remember the future is being built right now, just like it was back then.